Tell us
good
about
learning lesson.
your experiences in partnership and how that affected.
You know,
because we
this-
talk about this stuff a lot, like friends and partnerships.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I always looked to him as a leader and was kind of like driving the bus.
Yeah.
And I should have looked at it more as we were equal. So I learned a whole lot during that time.
Nice.
I wouldn't trade it. I mean, it was a really good learning experience to feel that out and dive into business with someone to lean on a little bit.
Yeah.
We just had very different visions that we really couldn't align. So I also learned that too. You know, maybe I do have some idea of what I'm doing, and I should have spoken up a little bit more than I did. And that's not to place blame or anything like that. It's just to say we were on different planets, and had maybe I spoken up a little bit, we could have gotten those planets a little more aligned, and maybe we'd still be doing that. I don't know. You know, we just had different visions.
What advice would you have for some folks that are out there in a business partnership right now that maybe you would have told yourself a few years back, like how to get through some of these things? Because a lot of people go in partnerships, go into business with friends.
Yeah.
And it can be difficult.
I probably wouldn't do it with a friend. There's too much at stake there. And if you really want to be friends with that person like forever and maintain a friendship relationship, it's hard to maintain business and friendship. It's tricky.
Yeah, it is
I'd say
tricky.
the same thing with family. Unless you're in the family business, I don't think I'd approach one of my family members and be like, hey, let's start a business together. Because I think there's, you're doing Thanksgiving together.
Yeah.
You don't want to be fighting over, P&Ls last month or something, right? Like, you don't want to do that. So the other thing I would do about getting into a partnership, and the advice I wish I knew, was don't forget your own worth, right? Like, you're still worth as much as you're worth.
Yeah.
Despite there's somebody else in the business. So speak up, be strong, and, you drive the bus a little too. And I didn't do that. I was younger. He's like 8 years older than me, and I thought, well, he already had a business, and I'll learn a lot and hang out and maybe not speak up. And so I learned that you got to learn your worth. You got to speak up a little bit.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Because, and I really wanted to ask you that, because there are people that are in partnerships right now, and it's not, the ship's sailed. You're in the partnership.
Yeah.
It's happening. It happened. So how do we make the best of it now and turn it around? And because I've interviewed lots of people that have been in business partnerships. Some of them, it's been amazing. Some of them not so amazing. My personal opinion, prior to doing all the interviews that I've done with different business leaders and entrepreneurs, is that it was not a good idea. I haven't changed that, but I do see some of the merits of it now. Some of the merits in terms of having someone to share some of that emotional load. And it's a reality. It's going to happen, because there's someone that's listening right now or someone that's not listening, and they're like, hey, I got this great business idea. Let me go get my best friend. Let me go get my cousin. Let me go get my brother. And they're going to do it. So when they listen to this, I want them to know, okay, the ship has sailed. What can I do so we can kind of course correct, take someone else's experience and having dealt with partnerships and apply that so they can be successful or get their ship going in the right direction. So I love the advice that you have. Anything else that you
with that, again, like, clearly define your roles, clearly, figure out what you're both really good at and not really good at. If you have a business partner that is good at what you are not good at doing, then they can take on that role and drive that part of the business. If you both aren't good at something, you better figure out how to outsource instead of fighting over, the thing you're both not good at doing. And clearly define that from the start. And then I think, partnerships can definitely work. And ours did work. It just, ultimately, we were heading different directions. I'm really grateful for the experience. I learned so much. Like I always say, like, that partnership and that first business really was like getting a master's degree in business.
Business and bourbon.